Hey, what's going on, my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor and I help people navigate through their spiritual awakening process. And today's video is going to share with you 5 different signs that you're an empath who happens to be going through a spiritual awakening. I'm in an unusual, kind of a unique field here where I have dedicated my life to helping people sort of navigate their spiritual awakening process, and a lot of the people I deal with fall under this category that we use, the empath. The people who find themselves unusually sensitive to everything. And due to that sensitivity, it creates kind of more of a likelihood that you start going through this awakening process that a lot of people on the planet are going through right now. So today, again, I'm going to give you 5 different signs that you are one of those empaths and you are on the awakening journey. Number 1 is that even though you probably have been really, in your mind anyway, extra sensitive, more sensitive, unusually sensitive your entire life, now you're finding that that sensitivity is just been blown open on freaking overdrive. The awakening can make you ridiculously sensitive to just about everything. Sensitive to yourself, to your own emotional states. That's just like so mild irritation can be just so physical and like, oh my goodness, like it's hard to kind of keep your composure at times. At the same time, you might detect a greater awareness of the raciness, the raciness of life, the crazy, just the mindsets, the passers-by as you go into the grocery store or you're driving a car. There's just so much loud input to your sensitive system. You might feel the emotions of other people very, very intensely where you can't even discern, is it them or is it me? And there can be a period during the awakening, which I call the hermit phase, where a lot of people find themselves where they just, in one way or another, they're not working, they're not really going out with their friends, they're not seeing their family as often as possible. They just don't feel like they just don't want to, it's not right for them. And they're going through a lot of this inner shift, the dark night of the soul and that kind of stuff. And just a lot of emotional stuff going on. So anyways, that's one of the signs that you're feeling, you've been sensitive your whole life and now you're extremely sensitive. Number 2 is kind of an unusual thing to talk about, but it's you develop the ability, blessing or a curse, you can decide, where you can literally take on the vibration and emotional states of other human beings. And even though you might be distant from them, you can absorb other people's energy, essentially, where you now are embodying that state of being that person over there was. I'll give an example. So maybe you're like walking through the store or something, and you're coming out of the aisleway, and there's this intense character that kind of shocks you, catches you off guard. Nothing on no overtly weird behavior. It's just an intense energy that you weren't really prepared for. You're in your own little world, and it's like this person had like maybe a creepy or a weird, or just an intense, intrusive aura about him, and it's like, like you should have braced yourself. And then you leave the store and you go home and you sit on your couch and you're still feeling that way. The sensations and emotions that you initially ran into at the grocery store are now still there in your physical body, even though you're 20 miles away and you're sitting in the privacy of your own home. You've absorbed that person's energy. It's kind of a weird thing, but it does happen. Number 3 is there are times where your empathy, your blown open empathy, is experienced in an incredibly beautiful and just divine way. Where just as you could perceive that person's bad vibes from a half a mile away, maybe not a half mile, along 50 feet away, you could perceive the divinity inherent underneath all the chaos at times. And there are times you feel undeniably connected to it, to where that this empathy, this oversensitivity is no longer a curse, but a blessing, because you're so open that you can detect what a lot of people miss. Maybe it's just the sight of some sort of random act of kindness by another person, someone donating money, or There's this one video I always talk about in these types of videos that I saw on Facebook one time, and it was just a random guy, you know, not all that well dressed or anything, and he was walking by and he noticed there was a homeless person and it was cold. It was winter wherever this video was shot, and he just takes his shirt off his back and he gives it to him and he walks off. There, you could tell he did not have the intention of being seen and, wow, look what I did. It was just a natural thing. And there was, when I saw that on Facebook, I felt so incredibly overwhelmed with hope for humanity, because I saw right there that true love, our divine quality is still alive in some people. And it wasn't just a mental recognition and say, oh wow, that's hopeful. It was more of how I felt. And I've had that many times, and I would imagine you have as well. Times of incredible spiritual connection where you feel just connected to the love of all that is. Number 4, another thing I talk about a lot in my empath videos, helping people identify if they are one or not, is I talk about intense highs and lows. But I'm going to talk about this in a different way. If you're going through this awakening process, by definition, your vibration, your core vibration is raising very quickly. And what can happen at times during the highs is they burn you out. You might have a high experience, a high day, a day when you feel just awesome. Like everything in your life is just connecting and flowing so beautifully and harmoniously. And it's like, wow, life didn't realize could be this awesome, and here it is. And it's so, not just what's happening, it's how you feel. You feel so connected to it and so amazing. But afterwards, for a while you're adjusting to this new normal, which are these highs initially, as you're adjusting, you might find that the higher you get, it could take a while to like bounce back. You might feel very like melancholy and joyless and physically burnt out, drained, no motivation, depressed even, after getting a taste of what it's like to embody your highest state. That's very strange what I just said. And if you relate with that, then you could pretty much shut this video off. Number 5 is going beyond the empathy. Going beyond merely the ability to feel other people's emotions and your own and the vibrations of life, but going into opening up so much into knowing, where you can see someone, or you just know things. You just know when it's time to do this big move, and you just know it. And there are times where there's someone that you know is not trustworthy, is maybe not ideal to be in your path, and you leave. Not because you felt it, because you just know. Your other psychic types of senses, oftentimes the claircognizance, which is just that knowing, really starts to blossom as the empath goes through their awakening. A lot of the journey of the empath prior to awakening is a lot of closing off and kind of suffering and dealing and self-medicating to deal with the intensity of the world that you don't feel really equipped to handle and manage. But the awakening, though it can intensify that for a time, it opens you up to all of that, who you really are. And part of you is incredibly perceptive, and you might start to experience that in a more psychic-y sort of way. So anyways, my friends, the whole point of this video is essentially to help give you peace of mind and confirmation, and to use your empathy to your advantage, to allow yourself to go through the necessary struggles and challenges that will help you blossom into a more sustainable empathic version of yourself that doesn't have to close themselves off or keep your guard up at all times. Rather, let your aura spread and emanate the beauty that is you into all of the world. Have an amazing day, my friends. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of this video. I will speak to you tomorrow. If you guys enjoy this kind of content every day at 1 o'clock, I upload a brand new video about the spiritual awakening journey. And I hope to see you there tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Peace.